I'm going to do a video for 2 specific friends that needed help with a specific look, so I just wanted to do a quick recording and kind of go step by step. Hi. I'm going to start off with always priming your face, always coming with a clean face. I use the, you don't have to turn the TV off, babe. I use the Younique primer, and just like a little pea-sized dab is fine. Just about that much. And just rub it in completely through. And I do sell Younique, so I do like this one. And you should let that soak for a good few minutes. I already put moisturizer on my face. I put it on daily, a SPF whatever kind of moisturizer. So I mean, that's always good. Okay. So I let that soak in, and then while that's soaking in, I actually do my eyebrows. For my eyebrows, I use a Revlon dark brown shade pencil. I don't know what you guys do, or if you even bother with your eyebrows. This is from 1990s over plucking, so I have to do mine. Basically, I work with my 4 little pieces of hair. And I just kind of, let me zoom in so I can, well, it won't let me zoom in. Well, I'll go really unusually close, and this happened today. And if this video does get shared, my name is Tanya Ayala, and I do run Younique business and have a Facebook beauty group. So I just follow the natural shape of my eyebrow, the slight curve, and then I make sure my tip is like angled right here, and then I go underneath. And again, just follow the natural shape. Typical arch where for everyone is you know you see everyone like measuring, doing stuff like this. It's really how I do mine just right where like my eye ends, right here. That's kind of where I do mine. And I do that because I can't do the whole measuring because my nose is not even, it's crooked, so I can't measure like that because it won't match. And then I'm going to do the same with this. I'm going to touch that up in a minute. Again, because my eyebrows are uneven. When I do like this, they're uneven. When I do like this, they're uneven. So I'm going to show you how I match them. Now, this one's higher than this part, so I don't really define on the top part of this eyebrow too much. I work more with the bottom. And that's just for me, you know, trying different styles, different, you know, looks with my eyebrows, just going over it over and over again, and just like taking pictures, looking, and just thinking, how can I make them more straight, even. Truly, you're just really gonna take time to figure out what works best for you, your own face, your own shape, and everything like that. And again, because I have hardly any hairs over here compared to this one, so I'm going to fill it in more down here. And usually when I do my lives, I go on with my eyebrows already because it is such a, I'm so picky with it. It's such a picky, long process for me. But for the sake of me doing a whole actual tutorial for you guys, I'm going to show you exactly what I do. If there's one thing I get complimented on out of everything, it's my eyebrows. So this is, so you can already see, and it looks natural because you do have natural baby hairs in your eyebrows, you know, even though you can only see like the dark part. So the baby hairs will pick up on the color, and that's what makes it look natural. Just gonna slightly comb it out, and I'm also gonna show you another trick I do to make it natural. I'm not really going deep with it. I'm doing really, really light strokes. I'm only just bringing the color from like the bottom and top. I'm bringing it in the center, basically, is what you have to think about it. I'm really, really lightly pulling the color in to my hairs. And then I'm going to go over it again because you can see once I pull the color around, it looks blotchy. And then just kind of measure it. For me particularly, my arch starts out farther on this side than it does this. And I know if I point it out, you guys can see. Otherwise, you wouldn't have noticed. So because it does that, I try to match this arch a little more. I did get my eyebrows microbladed a few years ago, but it's fading out. And you could still see a little ink and stuff right there. I totally want to go get them again. It saved me a long process. So I'm just going a little farther back, a little bit with this arch, just to kind of match this one. Do you see what I'm saying? Little things like that that you would never notice that I do, but these are the little things that I do, you know, to make your face even, and as part of contouring and everything like that. It honestly is the little subtle things that you do to your face that no one would know. Now, because I don't have really hairs under here, any baby hairs or anything that'll pick up the color like this one, I'm going to just go a little bit more harder and deeper with the color on this side. And I have a way to make it look a little more natural. I'll show you in just a minute. Sometimes I do my eyebrows thicker, some thinner. I mean, you just do whatever. Honestly, you can just sit there and do a whole bunch of different looks and figure out which shape looks good for you. If arches look better, if no arches, anything like that. Now these, they look pretty even, but I'm very picky. When I lift my eyes, when I talk, this one goes a little higher than this. Stupid, but true. So I'm just going to go a little more lower on this. Just because I know, like, I'm constantly making facial expressions. I'm talking like this, and I don't want people to be like, that one's really thin. Odd but true. So I'm just gonna go a little bit lower and just fill in. I'm gonna go in the center just because I'm pulling my hairs going this way now with the pencil backwards, just so I can fill in the gap so it doesn't look like there's just one line on top, one on the bottom. There's like eyebrow gels, there's different pencils, there's so many pomades and all kinds of stuff that you can use for your eyebrows. I don't personally like the gel because it's like a waxy material and it doesn't pick up color so much. It's not so super pigmented on me. If you have fuller, natural, thicker eyebrows with, you know, thicker hair, it'd be good for you because you don't need a lot of color on your eyebrows. You just need like the pomade to shape it or to wax it basically. So that might be good for you. I need, you know, more bold color. I'm just touching up little spots. And I'm going to clean it up with concealer, and I'll show you what that means too. I know there's two particular women that needed like advice or a look or, you know, a tutorial basically with makeup. So I'm going to do like a step-by-step process for one particular woman, which is why I'm doing my eyebrows and everything, and then the actual look of the colors and the makeup and everything is going to be for another woman, my sweet friends. Now, I know I have up here where it's already like dyed and stuff from when I got my eyebrows microbladed, so I'm just going to leave that because I'm going to clean it up with some concealer. Even. So you're going to always start your eyebrows. I start mine from like my water mark, my tear mark right here. Whatever this is, your corner of your eye. And this one is a little longer right here. I'm going to clean it up with concealer. It'll be fine. So that's kind of where you would start. Make sure you start, you know, right in the bridge of your nose right there. Again, my nose is a little crooked, so I can't measure like that. I do my own little way. And just fix some stuff. My eyebrows are a long process. I go over them over and over. Sorry. Okay, for cleaning up. I'm going to use, okay, for the sake of me doing a tutorial with Younique products, I'm going to use Younique concealer. This one is in shade Organza. For concealer, if you're going to use it for highlighting, you know, cover up, anything like that, you should always use a shade or two lighter than your natural foundation shade. I got this in my natural color just by accident, but it's okay because I'm going to use this to prime my eyes. When I say prime your eyelids, I put any kind of primer, whether it be concealer or anything that's going to help your eyeshadow stick on your eyelids. I use a concealer to both clean up my eyebrows and to prime my eyelids. If I use a lighter color, which I usually use the BH, this one, and it's in shade pink. I was thrown off by it at first, but I actually really like it because it's really light, and I'm going to give you a sample just because I want to be really specific. This is a really, really light, it says pink, but it goes on really like skin tone almost. See, it looks like this. And I like to use it for my eyelids as a primer because it evens out my skin tone. You can't see any like blue, you know how it's like bluish tone from, you know, skin and everything like that. It's basically going to give your eyelids a blank canvas is what you want. Now I'm getting messy all over my face, but that's fine. It's going to all blend in. So you want a blank canvas. And the lighter you go on your eyes is the better if you're going to use light colors of eyeshadow especially. Let me just blend that out. And I know it looks super pale, but that's okay. You kind of want it to. Well, for this particular look, it's fine. Let me just blend this out so I don't look all creepy throughout the video. Okay. So that's what I use for that. And I also use it to clean up my eyebrows for most of the time. But for the sake of me using the Younique products, I'm going to use, going back to the Organza. Oh, I should have told you. I use for my eyebrows between these two. The little thin, I know you guys probably have some of the thin angled brushes. There's a really tiny one or this one. Between my eyebrows, I kind of use these two. And I'm going to show you why. Because it's angled and it's going to give you a good shape for your eyebrows. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my brush of my concealer. With our Younique products, you're going to want to shake it because it is mineral based, so you want to get all those minerals and everything shook. Otherwise, sometimes you'll pour it out and it'll have like a watery base to it. You don't want the water, you want the color, so shake it up. And then I'm going to put a little bit under my brow, add a little more to my brush, and a little bit over. I usually don't use this one for my eyebrows because for me particularly, it's like a watery base. So it doesn't dry really fast, and I want it to kind of dry around my eyebrows, but it does work good. So I'm just going to take the angle, and I'm going to follow my shape. Very carefully. I'm just filling out the color, being very careful. This is something that and I'm going to go over my lid because like I said, I usually use the other one and I prime it. I just wanted to show you both colors. You can take a beauty blender if you want. You probably should use a beauty blender, and I'll tell you why. Because again, it's water-based, so it's really moist, you know, a lot of moisture in there. I want to pick up any moisture. You want your lid dry, so when you put the eyeshadow on, it doesn't stick to it. It blends really well. So I'm going in my corners. I'm just cleaning up all my eyes so it looks really nice and clean. And same with the top. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my brush, angle it like this, and just follow my natural shape. And I'm leaving a little space because I don't want to get too close. I'm going to be very careful. And I'm going to use my other brush to show you why. I'm just cutting down like this. I know a lot of girls, you might see, they take the spoolie part of the brush and they kind of blend it so it looks faded right there. That is a different look that a lot of girls use. I don't use that. I just do my regular look like this. Okay, then I'm going to take my really thin, small one. This one is Aesthetica brand. This one is Lady Queen. And I think I got this in a BoxyCharm. I'm not too sure. And this one's just smaller so I can really, really focus on the shape. I don't want to get too, like a real thick brush because I don't want to ruin it. Like I did right there, but it's okay, I'll fix it. And let me dab it with my, where'd it go? Beauty blender in my hand. I'm just gonna dab it because I want to, it's a little wet, so I want to pick up any moisture. Because I don't want it too wet around my eyebrow, it'll slip like it obviously did, you know, when I was right there. So I want it kind of dry. I'm gonna be very careful to shape this part. Let me put this down so I can. I'm looking in my other mirror so I can get a really close look. Okay, let me fix those spots. And all I do is, it's really simple. Just taking my spoolie and I'm just kind of pulling the color, see? And then I actually dry it off because again, it's wet. I always have a towel on my lap too. And you should always have something to wipe off your brushes with when you're doing your eyeshadow. I keep a clean towel on my lap. And just brushing off the color up. You don't want to get, I'm wiping it off because I don't want to put more concealer on my eyebrows when I go back. That one's good. On to the next. Taking my thicker black eyebrow brush. I'm trying to get it. It's hard to do it from camera. Put a little bit, and I'm going putting a little bit over and a little bit on top. And that's the amount I'm going to work with. And I always start off like in the center because I'm, just like when you're painting and you're grabbing color, you don't want to grab too much. So I kind of use this as, you know, like my palette. I wipe it off like this so I only have a little bit on my brush, and then I take it in shape. You know what I mean? So when I need to pick up more color, I grab it from here. And I'm not going too close yet because I want to inch my way. Then I just start pulling it down, start blending it out. I'm going to take more color. Okay, then I'm going to let this dry a little bit and work with my top, grabbing color. And see how I told you it was still colored right there? I'm just going to go over it and you won't ever know. A lot of girls will do their eyebrows where they'll color it, you know, connect it. You connect the whole brow, and that's how you're supposed to get your shape of where, you know, to match them. I just don't find that easy to do because you kind of tend to color it to match it anyways, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? There's no like line there for you to follow. You just kind of, I don't know. Never mind. All right, I'm taking the brush and I'm gonna go a little closer and I'm covering this. Now, because my arch on this one extends a little further than this, I'm gonna manually make an arch closer this way. So I'm just gonna start right here and bring it down. Then I just kind of always look back at myself and look at both eyebrows and measure. I always keep a little mirror, next to me, and that's what I use to really look close to. Really good, get a good look. I'm looking in my mirror, sorry. Do you guys hear Pineapple Express in my background? Okay, see, and I'm matching that the ends match on both sides. This one's a little lower, but I'm gonna get there. It's a slow process. I don't want to hurry it. If you're asking if I do this every day, the answer is yes. How long does it take me to do my eyebrows? Long enough. And then I'm just gonna, again, look back, match each part. So like this one's a little thicker here, so I'm just gonna take my smaller brush now, smaller, thinner one, and just little by little. See, there's still product right there. I'm just gonna use that and spread it a little bit. Now again, how I said when I lift my eyebrows, this one goes higher or is thinner. So if you look at it right now, it looks even, but when I do go like this, if you can tell, that one is thinner. It's just the way it is, I don't know. So to match that, I'm gonna make this bottom part a little bit thinner. Very little. So it matches on both sides. Now let me do this top. And then I'm going to take my beauty blender and just dab some product away so it's not wet. You can get different size beauty blenders. I should probably be using a really small one, obviously because it's a small area. I don't use beauty blenders a lot. I'm more into brushes, and when I do use any kind of blenders, I use these wedges. They're like $1 for a whole pack at Walmart, and I like them because they're you can like really maneuver them. They're very sharp angled, thin, and you'll see as I get through the look. Okay. And I just fix this one. I'm just matching the arch on this one. Okay. Cleaning it up. Okay, and same with this. Where'd my other brush go? Or other sponge. So again, I use this because it's Really, really easy to angle, and I'm going to pick up any excess concealer. If you can see, it's like still wet under there, and I don't want it wet. This is why I tend to use the BH1 concealer, just because it dries a little quicker, but this one matches my skin really well. Just trying it off. And this sponge obviously has concealer on it from before, which is why it's not dirty, it's just makeup. Okay. These in the front, I match them perfectly, so this is a little more angled this way. Actually, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna add a little more color because it's a little too far back for how I usually do it. You'll see in a second. I'm gonna add a little more color and match it this way. And then I'm gonna match this shape. You may not even do your eyebrows, especially to not this extent, but eventually you may. Makeup is an addiction. Okay. Okay, see how I'm matching this one to the same. This one always seems to go out longer than the other one. And that's how you do it. And again, I know my nose is crooked, so it really throws me off sometimes, but I'm gonna contour that. And I will show you guys how to contour. And I just take this little bottom right here because it's pointed, just slowly kind of curve it so it's not super pointed. I don't want it super pointed. There, I think we're good. I won't get too much more picky, otherwise it would be like, lady, hurry up. I'm showing you what I do. Okay, I'm not done. So to dry off my eyelids, and what I mean by dry is because there's still a little concealer on them, and to get my eyebrows to look more natural so it doesn't just look like it's penciled in, I take a small little shadow brush, any kind of brush. I grab whatever brush, it doesn't matter, just so it's like a little fluffy. You don't want it very stippled. You don't want it like a thick one where it doesn't move, you know what I mean? You want a light fluffy one. Anything like this even. I'll use this one actually for the sake of, again, me using Younique products. Let me use, where are you? My Younique one. This is just a Younique blending brush. See? And I take Airspun. This is translucent powder. I post this on my Amazon site, so it's just translucent. And I'm just gonna put my spoolie in, tap it so I don't have a lot, tap off any excess. Take my brush and I'm gonna slightly sweep over my lids. Again, tapping it. I need a little more, like this one is good. Sweeping over my lids, over where I put the concealer, and because this is what you would call setting or baking. And I'm gonna go over my eyebrows too, very lightly. And setting means it's just holding in place, because all makeup is made to actually go together. So the foundation, it goes on your face, but the powder is made to keep it in place so it doesn't move or shift. And the formulas in it from the heat of your face will bond together. So like the heat of your face will kind of melt it together and it just stays on your face. So if you ever see a lot of women, if your face is oily especially, or you know, it looks like it's like dewy and wet, it's because they didn't use powder or the correct powder and they didn't set it. And I usually put this powder on my eyelids because now it's going to be dry and I can smooth out my eyeshadow. And I know it's on my eyebrows, but I'm also doing it on my eyebrows so that sets the color in there too. The brown, you know, eyebrow pencil color. So throughout the day, if I bump it or anything, it really holds it in place. It won't move. Then I just take the spoolie from any kind of spoolie. I use the one from my eyebrow brush. And I just kind of comb it out. Very lightly. Just combing off the powder. Moving it through. And if you could look, see, it looks more natural. It looks all like hairs. And it's just, I add powder to it. So it doesn't look really dark. It gives it like, you know, dimensions and color. Like a highlight. And same with this. And again, because I don't have hairs there, like, you know, over here I have little baby hairs. This, for whatever reason, I overplucked it and they never grew back. So I'll show you what I do. I just kind of blend this out. Slowly. And I just go over it a little bit with the stick so it's not too obvious with the color part. And this too, I'll just go a little quick. Okay. Just mix it through one more time. I know you guys can hear my dogs. She nonstop barks at anything. Okay. Eyebrows done. You can do your face.